So in light of recent events, I feel a little obligated to apologize for the darkness of this story. You writer people probably have rules you have to follow, but the middle part of this story is a factual retelling of an event that actually happened to me. So I'm going to, regardless of the rules, I'm just going to go ahead and say that this is based on a true story. I call it Just Loving You, Santa. God, I hate Christmas. That's quite a statement for a guy who makes his living at, and let's face it, is Santa Claus. Yep, like it or not, I'm the spitting image. I know I've got the look down pat. I can ho, ho, ho with the best of them. And that means a steady stream of income, or steady stream of work, and a nice source of extra income during the holiday season. Today, I'm working as a mall Santa, spreading tidings of comfort and joy while hoisting an endless quantity of snotty-nosed kids onto my lap and listening to the same old, I want a Barbie, and I want a BB gun, and on and on and on. Peace on earth, goodwill towards man. Yeah, we get none of that on this gig. I'm thinking about the flask of vodka in my pocket, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a crazy son of a bitch wielding an AK-47 who shows up out of nowhere and starts pum-pum-pum-pumming off short bursts of semi-automatic gunfire into the crowd, all here to see jolly old me. The effect is devastating, at least a dozen down, including my 2 high school-aged female elves. When they showed up this morning, dashing through the snow, all was merry and bright. They had their whole lives ahead of them. Little did they know that the duration of those whole lives was just a couple of hours. Gun experts will tell you that the AK-47's 39mm bullet does not generally fragment when striking a target and has an unusual tendency to remain intact even after making contact with bone. The round can slice through tissue with relatively little injury. If you were here with me, looking at these cute high school elves, you'd agree that that's bullshit. Their bodies become unrecognizable carnage in an instant. Time stops. I freeze, too scared even to puke, and stare into the gaping hole of the killing machine that looks more to me like a train tunnel than a gun barrel. I force myself to look up and see the man who's about to end my life. Holy shit, I say to myself. I think I know this guy. People say that when faced with death, your entire life passes before your eyes. With me, it was just one incident. My very first Santa gig was years ago at a local Catholic elementary school near here. The nuns would parade their classrooms in to sit on Santa's lap and regale me with what good boys and what good girls they've been. Before each class came in, the teacher nun would brief me about significant classroom happenings, who'd been especially good, and who needed some extra positive encouragement. A first grader who fell into this latter category, I was told, was a little guy named Johnny. Johnny apparently was a troubled child from a troubled family, who was disruptive in the classroom, didn't follow directions very well, and was a bit of a bully to the other children. If Santa could just have a word or two with Johnny, his teacher would certainly appreciate it. Pretty soon, in came a ginger-haired boy with thick glasses and a pretty timid attitude. The nun nodded at me to signal that this was Johnny. From the look on his face, I guess he was a little intimidated by old St. Nick. He climbed up into my lap and fixed those owl-magnified eyes on my face. Hi, Johnny. How are you? You know my name? How do you know my name? Because I'm Santa, Johnny. I know everybody's name. Have you been a good boy this year? Kinda. So it sounds like maybe you could try to be a little better, huh? Do you do everything your teachers tell you to do? Well, sometimes. At this point, Johnny's glasses start to fog up. And I'm thinking, oh no, this kid is going to start crying right here on my lap. Johnny, you know that your teacher has rules for your classroom. and you have to follow those rules if you want to get on Santa's nice list. You know that, right? Seeing that I'd hit on something important to him, I said, now, you still have time before Christmas, so if you are real nice and follow all of your teacher's rules, I think you could make it onto the nice list, okay? Gee, thanks, Santa. I will, I promise. And off he went. After all the kids had had their time with Santa, the whole class gathered around me for a class picture. Johnny was down in front, but he reached one hand way back behind to cup Santa's neck. He was a strong little devil, and I had to exert some effort to resist his pull. "What are you doing, Johnny?" I asked. The reply, and I will never forget it, came back, "I'm just loving you, Santa. I'm just loving you." Over the years, I've often wondered whatever became of Johnny. I figured he ended up either as a priest or as a prisoner. But now I knew. I was sure I was looking at a grown-up Johnny on the business end of that AK-47. Same ginger hair, same Coke bottle glasses. I just knew it was him. Whoops. I also knew my time was up. I could see police in position around the mall, but there was no way any one of them could take a shot with the barrel of that gun pointed right at me from 10 feet away. "Hi, Johnny. How are you?" "You know my name?" "How do you know my name?" "Because I'm Santa, Johnny. I know everybody's name." "Johnny, what are you doing here? Why?" "Things are bad, Santa. I lost my job. My wife divorced me, took away my kids. There's so much pressure, and I finally just snapped." At this point, I swear to God, his glasses started to fog up, and it felt like I was facing that little first grade boy again. Only this time I was facing him through the sights of a brutal assault weapon. "Johnny, you understand right and wrong, don't you? You know that there are laws, and you have to follow those laws if you want to get on Santa's nice list. You know that, right?" Incredibly enough, in some subconscious segment of his adult brain, this was something still important to him. I said, "Now, you don't want to hurt Santa, do you? I need you to put down that gun, and then you and Santa can go talk to the policeman. Okay, Johnny? We still have time before Christmas, so if you do everything the policemen tell you to do, I think you can make it onto the nice list. Okay?" He lifted his tear-filled eyes from the rifle sight and lowered the barrel. "Gee, thanks, Santa. I will. I promise. I love you, Santa." There was a sharp crack, and the left half of Johnny's head just disappeared, spraying blood and gray matter all throughout my snowy white beard. "No!" I screamed and dropped to my knees in front of Johnny's still pulsating corpse. Turning to my left, I saw SWAT Commander Linda Teal being congratulated for the kill shot by her fellow police officers. Despite all the chaos, the night suddenly got very silent in my head. Johnny certainly wasn't innocent, but he was a troubled soul, and I couldn't save him. I got to my feet and slowly started to walk off. People offered to help, but I just wanted to get away and be alone. There was no peace on my earth, no joy to my world. God, I hate Christmas.